Yeah.
And we are back, folks, for another edition of Steady Droppin Dimes. Steady Droppin Dimes. We don't have a man that dropped the dimes on the court with us. He's still under the weather.
Yeah.
He's still under the weather.
Hey, Sam, hold on, man. Daniel might be ducking us on this Lakers thing now. He might be ducking because as soon as the Lakers lose, for real, he going to be back. I'm back. Hold on. Where you come from? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I thought you was under the weather. Oh, now all of a sudden you good because Lakers out the playoffs.
Yeah, I ain't, man.
To just show how great they are. You know,
the dude had a double. He had a double sort of illness. So I'm gonna give the man the benefit of
double
the doubt.
dose.
Yeah, double dose. So illness on top of an illness. So when that's the case,
he aligning with the wrong GM is what he's doing.
Oh, he did. And that dude taking L's left and right. You ever somebody don't know when to shut up?
Man, just shut up, Chief.
Like, you took the L already, man.
Just roll with it.
Talk about the Mavs GM, folks, because we came on. You just to give you a little bit of history. You know, we do these topics, and Devin was out that week. He doesn't know this, but we had these topics, and I'm thinking I'm gonna speed through. You know, I think this is like one of the worst trades in sports history. I don't think this is gonna be a long topic. We spent 45 minutes on it, Devin.
On the back and forth.
Because Daniel was like, "What are you talking about? What are you talking about?" He was doing.
he threw that out there. You just don't know ball.
He pulled his basketball card on me. I played the game. You gotta.
He dropped the dimes on the court, so we go.
Yeah, you gotta defer to a point. But it's like, come on, man.
Triple.
I mean, hell, I guess we can't get political. It's a whole bunch of stuff I ain't did, but I got an informed opinion on, and I can see this. Man,
a blind man can see that.
This is a terrible trade. And so we watching this unfold before our eyes, trading a 25-year-old superstar. And it's like, what are we doing? For a guy.
No, we trading a 25-year-old superstar. Let's give it more. A 25-year-old superstar that in a few years ago drug a can of soap, a can of Pepsi, a couple bars of soap, and a Twizzler to the Western Conference Finals, and then just 1 year prior, got Kyrie, went to the finals. The only other person that got to the finals with Kyrie, his name is LeBron James. Are you trading a 25-year-old LeBron James?
And Daniel turned it into this thing, and I was like, are we really arguing? Like, this must be one of those fake topics, right? Like, you don't really believe this, do you?
He said it with his chest, and then he doubled down when I came in there too.
And then when you came in, you was looking at me like, Sam, is this for real?
He came serious.
Is this not a real topic? Is it? Like,
defense wins championships? What are you talking about?
I was like, nah, this is a real topic.
I vividly remember the Warriors winning back-to-back championships because they had Steph and KD on the same team, and that's 2 of 5 defenders, and neither one of them is checking.
Yeah. Hey, man, you got Nico on here. He keep talking. Well, we just think you can't win. You can't win like that. You can't win with him.
You can't win scoring 15 to 20 points a quarter.
And then he said, I knew the fans loved him, but I just didn't know how much.
Why not just say I knew the fans loved him and stop it there?
Oh my God!
Now you look crazy. Now you look crazy and unaware and unqualified for your job.
Oh man, even his boys are like, "Oh man, you need to shut the hell up."
You need to chill.
This is Devin's premise that Daniel is ducking us. I'm saying that I think Daniel is truly sick. So I'm gonna try.
Hey, chat. I need the chat to chime in. Is Daniel sick, or is Daniel ducking the smoke? Hey, Daniel gonna jump in there. Daniel ain't ducking no smoke.
So Daniel might come on because what I like to do is do a spring game replay post game. Mm-hmm. So when they replay it on Sunday, we actually come on. I know you can't do it because you got Devin he's worldwide. He has all these broadcasts and camps that he runs and all these different things. So, he has to get out there, do his worldwide celebrity host deal. So I got it. So we may, if we could get Daniel healthy enough, maybe we get Borges to fill in for you. Because Borges was going to come on today.
That show's going to suck.
He was otherwise occupied.
That show's going to suck. If you get Borges to play me on a show, that show is garbage. It's never been.
He does have a Devin invitation, by the way. You never heard it. So we should have him do his Devin invitation without you here. So you can watch it. No, that'd be cool. I think we're going to do that. So, folks, what is this show? Steady Droppin Dimes. Me and my guys.
Wait. You dropped a dime before we came on here, and I got to let the people know.
I called these some.
No, don't you tell the story. I'll tell the story.
These some Jordans. Those Jordans.
Sam got a plethora of Pistons gear for whatever reason, in all colors, as you can see.
I got all kind of Pistons gear. I got black. I got City editions.
And he said, Devin, I got my Jordan 1s too. And he put them in the camera and he took them down. And I said, wait a minute. I think those are dunks. He said, no, man, you don't know what you're talking about. These Jordan 1s. Can you please show the people your shoes again? They're nice shoes. You got some heat on your feet.
Yeah,
however,
black and orange match this bad boys. Again.
However, those are, as the chat I'm sure knows, dunks. But go ahead. Dropping Dimes, brought to you by. Here we go.
All right. One of my, I don't know how many pairs of shoes, but I got some black and gray Jordan 1s that I got to go with my black and gray Pistons. I can't remember the name of that City edition jersey, the Jay Ivy jersey too. So we got that rolling too. So I do have some J's. I guess I got to go get those now. I got to go get some actual Jordan 1s to show you some. So now,
only if you don't call them Jordan 1.
Now, Phil, for a minute, so I go get my actual Jordan 1. Now I got to go get them.
Oh my God! Do y'all see this chat? He's old, basically. I mean. I knew Sam when he was still young. He was coming up, and he old now, and he don't know. We got to help him. That's why I'm here. I'm here to help him so he don't walk around acting crazy, sounding crazy, talking about how he got these fire Jordan 1s on his feet when they are clearly dunks. It's hilarious. And now he got to prove that he hip. He got Jordan. He has Jordan 1s. He got to prove he hip. But what he's actually doing is probably looking at the Jordan 1s and saying, oh, man, I was tripping. They look similar, but they're not quite. I messed that up. Yeah. Sam messed that up. Oh, Sam, how you doing, buddy? Oh, sweet. I got those too. Them sweet Jordans. Those are sweet, Sam. I got those. Those are sweet. Very nice. Very nice.
These go with my black and gray Pistons jersey. Then I got the red, white, and blue Pistons shoes to go with my red, white, and blue.
Okay, Sam. We know you got heat. We just want you to know which heat you have. That's what we want. We know you got heat. We want you to know what the heat actually is.
We got all kind of heat. Oh, you got these?
I do have those, of course.
Oh, okay. I'm impressed. I'm impressed that you keeping up, young fella. I'm impressed that you keeping up.
Steady Droppin Dimes is
brought to you by all the way up with me, but
Ann Arbor Sports Commission.
There you go.
And an old man named Samuel L. Jackson Webb III.
Steady Droppin Dimes brought to you by our great sponsors over at the Ann Arbor Sports Commission. And by the way, when great events come to town, you can always find all of the events going on at Washington County over on the events calendar over at annarbor.org. Now, of course, you always know about the big Michigan events, right? And even the Eastern Michigan events. But beyond those events, what's going on around these parts? Well, that's where our friends at the Ann Arbor Sports Commission come in and can really tell you and keep you up to speed and up to date on what's going on in this community. And a lot of great, affordable family sporting events, whether you want to get out to the parks, recreation, nature trails, because I I like Rolling Hills. Great park right here in the community. Big water slide and everything, and trails, bike trails, fishing ponds, and all of that over there. See, Devin, I do those.
Sam still hasn't showed us him riding a bike.
I do those things. But you want to get out and enjoy some great sporting events here in town. We told you last week that the AFC Ann Arbor soccer seasons, plural, men's and women's seasons, are set to get underway. Regular seasons begin May 9th and 10th. You can check out the full season schedule over on the Ann Arbor Sports Commission page. They keep you up to date on all the happenings with AFC Ann Arbor. Times, obviously, all the games played over at Ann Arbor Pioneers Holloway Field. So you got the food trucks on the side. You got the kids' play area. Obviously, you got the great action on the pitch. See, I know the lingo, Devin. But, you think you got to wait until the regular season for the action to start. Again, that's May 9th and 10th. The women open their season against Union Macomb on May 9th. The men open their season against Lansing City on May 10th. Well, there is a friendly this weekend, folks. Saturday, April 26th, the Ann Arbor women against the University of Michigan Women's Soccer Club at 7 o'clock. And they're actually going to have a clinic at 5:30. So the doors open to that at 5:30. That's over at Holloway Field. Tickets are from $10. Kids 13 and under are free. So you can make it on over for that. That is this Saturday, 7 o'clock is the time for the friendly. The clinic begins at 5:30. Again, individual match tickets are $12 online, $15 at the gate. You have tickets you also have some tickets available, as I said, that you can get them for 10. And then, of course, kids 13 and under are always free. Again, kids 13 and under are always free. So don't miss out on the opportunity to get out and watch AFC Ann Arbor in action. All right. So all that information you can find on the Ann Arbor Sports Commission website. That is annarbor.org/sportscommission, keeping you up to speed and up to date on all the happenings and goings-ons right here in Washtenaw County when it comes to great sporting events they support and help bring to town. You need places to stay, places to go, events to get out and see when it comes to great sports in this community. Ann Arbor Sports Commission and annarbor.org/sportscommission. All right.
Sam, hold on now, Sam. There's one more thing you left out there.
What's that?
There's like a special, like, kind of hidden thing where there are events that you just won't be able to see on the website. However, if you use code 2StrapSam, they're going to give you some stuff that everybody else don't know about. A little more. They're going to put a few more things in there that are happening in Ann Arbor that you might be able to see. That's all I'm saying. If you just try the code, just call them up. Hey, I got a code. It's 2StrapSam. And, they might start giving you more stuff.
Here you got people in a deal talk about 2 straps. All right. Anyway, DG, spring game. We told people last week. We told them last week that you look at this performance for the young quarterback, that there needed to be some perspective. He was balling out in practice, but what will that translate to when the game rolls around? Will it translate to him going out and having these grandiose fireworks, or will it fall short of that? What is a realistic expectation? Of course, he goes out, and I believe, Ben, the final stat line was 12 for 26. I know you're going to have the adjusted stat line, but I think the final stat line was 12 for 26 for 187 yards and a touchdown. Of course, that includes the 88-yard flea flicker at the end for the touchdown. So, Devin, your reaction to the reactions to his performance, which go somewhere between and And he was terrible, which obviously a lot of Michigan fans are taking the chiding from the Buckeyes to make them sort of, I think, feel that way. So your reaction to that?
Well, like we talked about, was it last week? Was it last week we talked about taking practice and things like that with a grain of salt, and it was positively or negatively. Now, and the reason I say positively or negatively in practice is because, you know, getting a chance to call games and do things like that. I've seen so many instances, and even back when I was playing, where guys are so bad in practice. It's like, why aren't you good in practice? Like, it's set up for you to succeed, right? You should be really good. It's not actual live bullets. And then in the game, if they get their opportunity, they're very, very good, right? So a perfect example is Max Duggan. So the year he was runner-up on the Heisman, everybody kind of forgets that he didn't even win the job. He wasn't even the starter, right? And I got a chance to talk to the coaching staff because I had their game later in that year, and he had played so well throughout that year. And my question was, how is this mistake even made, right? Like why was he not the starter to begin with? Especially when you fast forward another year, and the guy that got a chance, that got hurt, he got a chance to play, and he just was pedestrian. He wasn't very good. He was okay. And the answer was he just wasn't very good in practice, right? And a lot of people know the phrase gamer, right? This guy's a gamer. Well, some guys just aren't good in practice and they're gamers, right? So that's why even if you're getting negative reports sometimes in practice, you kind of take that with a grain of salt as well, because some people shine brighter when the lights are brightest. Now, in the spring game, it's the same thing, because for Bryce or even Jaden Davis, neither of them are playing with the full complement of their toolbox, right? And in my opinion, for Michigan, the depth on the offensive line and at the skill positions is not nearly as deep at the defensive line, their front seven, as well as their back end, in my opinion. So say you got a third string tackle or guard playing that probably won't play in the games when the games come, but he's on your team, right? Because you got to split the team in two. Well, even if he's going against maybe a third string defensive end or defensive tackle, that guy's a rotational player, right? He's going to play a lot for the defense, and it's just a mismatch, right? And so when you're in that situation, you just want to see a guy be competent, right? Be able to hit the throws, the layups, right? Be able to make plays in a way that, you know, shows you, okay, when the bullets are live, when you do have the full complement of your skills, are you going to be the greatest player ever, or are you going to live up to a huge payday? We don't know that, but we know that we have a chance of you being competent, right? And I think that's what both guys showed. You have a chance of them being confident when you get the full complement of their skill set, their weapons around them. It showed that both those guys, firstly, have been working, right? They've been working really hard, and that they have an understanding of what they want on the offensive side of the ball. And so you know that Ohio State, there's been a lot of winning in Ann Arbor, right? And there's also been a lot of winning in Columbus by way of Ann Arbor, right? They're not going to be happy about anything you do. So if a guy goes out and, you know, there's been a lot of hype attached to him and he doesn't play perfectly, right? So if he has 3 incompletions, right, they're going to find something, right? It's going to be something that they say, right? And it feels like they have some warranted questions, right? But there were going to be questions regardless. So like I said last week, I still stand on the same thing. Take it with a grain of salt. We're nowhere near game day, and they have a huge opportunity in camp throughout the summer before camp even gets there to continue to improve and have a better understanding of the playbook that they are now learning. You got to think about this. For Bryce Underwood, he comes from high school where a lot of the times he's just throwing open guys, right? Go balls, deep post, a flat here or there, or run around, make a play because you're the best player on the field. So him learning the structure of an offense and understanding what goes into an offense, right? What are the checks? What are the checks in the run game? I'm just telling you, there wasn't a whole bunch of checking in the run game at Belleville. I can tell you that for a fact. And when you get to college, it's not just drop back 7-on-7 throwing. And that's what everybody thinks, right? Oh, this guy can throw, he can play. Well, that's not the case, right? There's a lot of things that he needs to learn and get caught up on, not specific to the playbook, but specific to playing college football. And then you add the things that are specific to the playbook, right? So it's very difficult. And Jaden Davis, the same difference, right? He is a guy that was in a different offense last year and didn't get a whole bunch of reps, right? So he really didn't get a chance to get a grasp of that offense. Oh, wait, here's a new one, right? Learn this one now, right? Is he a little further ahead probably in learning it because he had been in the college locker room the year before? Absolutely. However, he's still very young and still trying to figure out the nuances and the different things that have to go along with that Chip Lindsey offense. And so I'll use myself as an example. I remember Coach Borges and Coach Hoke come year 2, right? As a say true sophomore, redshirt freshman, whatever the case may be. And I learned the offense, right? I got it. But it wasn't until 2013 where I knew it like the back of my hand, right? I remember seeing play, 2012, end of 2012, right? Because I went to receiver and I got a chance to learn it from a different perspective, right? And as much as I would have much rather been the quarterback, it was good for me. It was beneficial for me because that first 2011 year, my head is spinning. I had just learned Coach Rod's offense. I thought I had a grasp on it. Wait, here's a new offense, right? And so 2011, I don't know exactly. We're changing it a bunch just to kind of help Denard and different things like that. I don't know exactly. I know what to do. I don't know why, And then in 2012, I go to play receiver and I get a chance to learn the offense from a different lens, right? So I have that quarterback brain that I learned it from, and then I learned it from a receiver brain. By the time I go back to quarterback, everybody's wondering, well, how do you have so much success? Was he practicing and practice at quarterback as well? Well, no, I wasn't. I was going out on my own and running through the scripts and learning the offense again as a quarterback. And in practice, I was learning as a receiver, right? So I understood completely how and why. And so I look back at some of the stuff, some of the plays from that later 2012 year where I'm dropping back, reading rolled up coverage, going right to my next read, understanding and knowing exactly what I want to do with the ball and being able to play fast, right? And so in 2013, right, I got this down packed. And that's why I set a bunch of records and did a bunch of good things because I knew exactly what the offense asked of me. And Borges added a few more things that I was capable of doing. And it was perfect, right? I could go out and play freely. Well, these young guys, how can they play freely if they're just learning the offense? They can't, right? So as much as, they look like they're having fun and whatever, there's a lot of thinking, a lot of stuff going on in their brains that is going to hamper them initially from playing to their complete potential. But that's what the summer's for. That's what fall camp is for. And these guys are going to get a lot of reps. I would love to see a starter be not necessarily named, but in the locker room, I think they need to know who the quarterback is so you can get all that time into the guy who's going to be the guy so that you can play fast once the fall comes. Now, will they be as fast as they will be maybe a year from now? Absolutely not. However, right, you can get as close to that as possible by getting as many reps as you can for whoever they believe is going to be the quarterback for the team. So, again, take the spring game with a grain of salt. You got to take it from the Ohio State fans, and I'm sure you gave it to them with their quarterback performances in their spring game. It's not like their guys were world beaters, even though they do have talented guys. I think that everybody should be okay and just know and hope. You got to trust Coach Borges, basically, because Coach Borges said Chip Lindsey knows what he's doing, and he understands how to develop quarterbacks, and that's what you got to trust.
So, from the whole Ohio State thing, because I know you're taking a lot of ragging from that, free yourself caring about the opinions of a fan base whose asses you kicking. Why do you care? Care about what matters. And that is the young fella progressing and have a little perspective. You're in a game where, as you pointed out, not playing with the full allotment. For me, it's more about the full allotment of receivers than it is offensive line. I actually think you got a fair look at the offensive line. And I think that they need to be in the portal trying to get another tackle. Like you, and Sharon was very honest about, hey, I'm set at right tackle. I'm set at left guard. I'm set at center. We still got a lot of competition at left tackle. Evan Lincoln's in there. Andrew Babalola, a true freshman's in there. He didn't mention Blake Frazier, but he's been hurt. He could be in the mix there. Crippins at center. At guard, you got Native Phobie. You got some different pieces in there. I think that they had their druthers. Maybe they would want to move Evan Lincoln inside. All of this says to me, and I said heading into the spring, if you come out of the spring feeling like you still had a question at left tackle, especially with an inexperienced quarterback, I'm going in the portal and getting the best available. As long as it's as good as what I have, I'm grabbing that out of the portal and letting competition sort it out, just to have another option. I feel like watching the spring game and listening to Sharon's comments, that's where they are. If it's something that's good in the portal, go get it. Now, receiver, this is where I think you have to have some perspective. He was never going to go out in his first action and be, 80% passing with not playing with the full allotment of starting receivers. And then their full allotment of starting receivers, is he throwing to Braylon? Is he throwing to I'm not disrespecting anyone, but I'm saying when I say is he throwing to Braylon, is he throwing to Dave Terrell? Is he throwing to Marquise Walker? I'm saying, is he throwing to a guy who's established himself as a number one receiver in college football, like we've seen other young quarterbacks at Michigan do, where they stepped into the fold, and if they
had Ronnie Bell.
Yeah, and they
knew who the guy was.
They knew who the guy was, and they had a dude to pacify them, to bring them along. That's not there right now. That's not to say that he won't have a guy emerge, but that guy isn't there right now, and they're candidates for that. I mean, Donovan McCulley played, but he didn't play a ton. He didn't play a lot. He played a little early, right? So you look at this game under a 12 for 26 lens, right? He had one of the things Borges talked about. He said, hey, man, he was really taken with, I like how grounded in his fundamentals he is. And you made a great point where you said, Sam, that's every young quarterback, right? I think his perspective is this dude is so physically talented. He was hoping he didn't see a guy who was living off of that. And he didn't. He was impressed with that because he said, man, all these short passes are on the money, on time, and on target. There was one bubble he skipped that he was like, okay, this is not, but the rest of them were really on time and on target when they were talking about the short throws. He stared down and out. That should have been picked. Like he dropped back and he was looking at it the whole way, and TJ Metcalf should have picked it. That was another mistake. So you had some balls that were on him. There was a seam to and this was a long throw, obviously. It should have been like a 30 or 40-yard touchdown to Channing Goodwin. I don't know if he saw it late. By the time he saw the dude was so wide open, he tried to put air under it. By putting air under it, it was out the back of the end zone. Should have been a touchdown. If he had thrown it right to him, it would have been. Right? So there were some plays where you're like, this is inexperience showing. Maybe the interception was that. I don't know if a guy ran the wrong way or if it's like you said, it was just heat coming on him and he just chucks it up. It could have been that. But then there were those balls where it's like, okay, this might be the predicament, Devin, and this is what I want you to speak to. This might be his predicament as a freshman, and this is what we might have to brace ourselves for the growing pains through. He might be in the position that Trevor Lawrence wasn't in. See, not only did Trevor Lawrence step in on a team that had gone to the playoffs the year before, after game 4, after Kelly Bryant had quarterbacked him for 4 games, he stepped onto a squad that had dudes everywhere, right? So he's throwing to established guys.
Not only that, if you forget, Travis Etienne was his running back, who was a great pass catcher and runner.
Right. So Bryce steps in, and I think it was before the first field goal, and you'll see this on the replay. For the first field goal, he gets Joe Taylor. I can't remember the route, but he gets him on something across his face, and Joe Taylor is covered, the receiver on the team, and he's covered, but the ball beats the coverage. He throws him open away from the coverage, so the receiver is on his back, but it's right here in his hands. So the ball is away from the defender in the hands of the receiver. he should catch this ball. And he drops. This is not to criticize. This is to make options. This is a good ball. This should be a touchdown. It's dropped, right? There was another one where Jamar Browder, he gets on top of, I think it might have been JoJo. It might have been JoJo Edmond on a I think he got a stutter and go. And he gets a step on him down the sideline, man. This is the one deep pass other than the flea flicker on the day that he's going to get. And it's a really good ball. Borges said he could probably put some more air under it, but I'm like, damn, it's like this is in his hands. And he has a step on him.
So I didn't see it, but judging by your analysis of it and then you saying Borges said he could put more air on it, it's super difficult for a wide receiver, right? And it's down the field, so everybody can see me, right? We're not on radio. I'm looking, and there's a defender with pretty good coverage. So I think I might have saw the end of the play or something like that. And the ball comes in at a lower trajectory, right? It's difficult to get both eyes on it when you're looking. Whereas if it comes from higher, you can look up, if that makes sense, right? So it's semantics and it's things that he'll learn, right? Because I'm just telling you, at Belleville, guys are running open, right? I'm sure he hasn't seen so much tight coverage, right? In all his days, but
to the point they had one with air under it that was dropped the other way. But Jaden threw that one. Mm-hmm. but the point is, you had guys that if they're the guys that are gonna play regularly, maybe they catch those balls. Maybe they don't, because you also had a crosser that was to Fred Moore, and he dropped it. Right, so that's 3 drops right there. One of them being a touchdown. That do his stats look great if they catch those? No, but they look better.
Yeah.
Right, and
we're splitting hairs here, right? Because when the season goes on, not too many people are gonna care about drop passes or even dropped interceptions, right? If did he intercept it, did they catch it, and what was the deal, right? And so I just think that everybody, if you listen to the show, right, if you're here last week, you wouldn't be acting like this, and I don't know, right. I don't know how everybody's acting, but I don't think that this spring game needs to be explained so much. You know what I mean? Because if you want to just go every single, okay, he could have had a completion here, that's being ridiculous, and it's unfair to him, honestly, right? What are the facts? This is his first time playing in the big house in front of a pretty big crowd, right? Not the biggest it'll be, but like that opening day, that crowd's gonna be crazy, right? But this is a pretty big crowd for him, right? Biggest crowd I'm sure that he's played in front of at, what was it, 40 to 50,000 or something like that. That's a lot, right? Maybe in Texas people are used to that, but in the state of Michigan that doesn't happen, right? It just doesn't happen. And so the facts are he's on his first opportunity on this big stage, right? The facts are he didn't have all the players that he's going to play with, and this goes for Jaden Davis as well, right? First opportunity for both these guys. Didn't have all the guys that they'll have. Another fact, their own coach said at that, what'd you say, right guard and left tackle position, 2 very important positions, right? Right down the middle, up in your face, and the guy that's protecting your blind side, they need more help, right? They need to go in the portal, right? And he's young, right? He is a young guy with a lot of pressure on his shoulders, and there has to be people in the building to make sure that it doesn't become too much for him, right? And I'm not talking about playing on the field. I'm talking about all the outside noise and different things like that. He needs to be shielded from a lot of those things because the field is going to be hard enough. People, and as fast as he probably thought, or people were moving on Saturday or whatever day it was, they're going to be so much faster on game day. Even the bad teams you play, right? Everybody looks at, Western Michigan or Toledo, teams like that. And it's like, they're just, nothing to write home about. Well, those guys are moving very fast as well. And it's going to be much faster than anything he's ever experienced. So you just have to trust in the coaching staff that, one, they have people in place. And I think they do, a guy like Chris Bryant, to make sure that his mental stays on track and he's not distracted. He's not reading his own press clippings positively or negatively, right? Because there's a lot of negative out there, right? And when he does one thing good, there's going to be a lot of positive, right? So you need to just stay clear of all of it in general. And then the development, being able to be on the same page with the coordinator and make sure that he's being taught to play college football. That's where we are. Being taught to play college football because he's never done it, right? Just like anybody in the chat or any fan that has never done a job, right? You usually get a chance to go and shadow a person or, learn from somebody. Well, he doesn't quite have that luxury. He may be thrust in a position where he has to learn on the job. And if everybody is real with themselves, learning on the job is extremely difficult. Extremely difficult, especially if you don't have that Trevor Lawrence complement of skills all around you, where at some points you may not even need to participate. Just don't mess it up, right? He won't be in that position where he'll always get a chance to not mess it up and grow organically, right? It's going to be quick. It's going to be fast. And we need to have some grace with his development. And this goes, like I said, for Jaden Davis as well.
Yeah. It's, I think you made a great point. You want to be thinking about the spring game when August hits. It's a footnote, and it was an important, I think, competition to get out of the way, and you don't get a true eval because they're blowing a whistle, man. I mean, plays that he could have potentially made can't be made in the spring game because his improvisational skill is mitigated.
That's the Max Duggan effect. Remember I talked about Max Duggan early? What was he so great at? Those competitive plays, those competitive ways to get out of danger when a guy is unblocked and he finds a way to get down the field. He picks up a bunch of yards, right? That's something you can't see in the spring game because they're not getting tackled, right? And on the other hand, right, it's kind of double-edged sword. Well, someone will say, well, he made throws that he might not be able to make because he'll be getting tackled. And the thing is, we'll just have to wait and see. We'll just have to wait and see. But a lot of, like you said, his skills were mitigated because he was unable to use all of his own weapons that he has. And I don't know. I want people to know he's a much better runner than everyone thinks, right? He's just been developed and done a great job of becoming a pocket guy, but he is going to be one of the best athletes on the field at all times, even as a young guy, right? So his ability to get out of trouble now, like myself, it gets you in trouble as well, right? Especially coming from high school football in Michigan, where you could pretty much do what you want when you're that type of athlete. However, if they can continue to bottle that up and harness that, right, he'll have great opportunities to help the game with his athletic abilities that I don't think people quite understand the level that he has with that athletic ability.
Yeah, so calm down, relax. I think that the quarterback situation is in much better shape, and yet I do think what we said last week applies, though. People need to temper the idea that he's going to come in and be Trevor Lawrence without taking into account what Trevor Lawrence had. Like there are levels to the eval. Someone brought it up a little bit earlier, and you tell me, and this is not being disrespectful, this is just making it plain to bring in the account of someone in the chat. And I think this really crystallizes the point, because I knew, like I said, he had dudes around him, but this poster in the chat laid out exactly who he had around him. It's like, man, I knew he had Renfro, he had Justin Ross, he had T. Higgins. That's who he had around him. I was like, come on, dog. Are you kidding me?
And Justin Ross was just a freshman, and he was outstanding. Right? He was outstanding, and obviously we know what T. Higgins was. Like, he had real dudes, and that's not counting the fact that the defense was amazing. That's not counting the fact that the offensive line did a great job. Like, those things have to be understood when we're thinking about a young guy contributing, and not only contributing, taking the team to the heights that the fan base would love for them to take the team to in their first year.
Yeah, and in the backfield, dog. In the backfield, Trevor Etienne, which you laid out so well already.
So nice. He was so nice in college.
So, at any rate, want to give you a chance to chime in on. I guess we will let you chime in on Shannon Sharpe, and I can get to the Pistons on my own before you go. But before we do that, because we got to tell the people about the golden limo difference, and I will share this on my own, Benjamin.
Hey, Sam, I just want you to let you know, when you went out last week,
you did a great job.
I think the people really enjoyed my long soliloquy and my presentation. It was almost like a commercial that wasn't planned, because it was spur of the moment, and that's just who I am as a teammate.
So
things happen, you get it done.
So Ben, I'm gonna need the 2 box with the big box on the side because I'm sharing this. So if you give me the big box, there you go. There you go. That's how my producer works. Because you see, when you experience the golden difference, you experience, and that is Sean Duvall, the president and CEO of Golden Limo, who built a company based on excellence and luxury, and the reputation is second to none. That's why they have been relied upon for so many years as the transportation partner for Michigan football. But also it goes beyond Michigan athletics. The relationship that they have with Michigan medicine is second to none. You go throughout the medical campus, North Campus, the Michigan, throughout the University of Michigan Hospital, you see golden buses everywhere. When it came time for me to have my mom even brought down from Flint for some of her medical procedures, I called Golden to handle that transportation. That's how trusted they are for me. And any ground transportation needs you might have, they should certainly be trusted for you, whether it's executive transport, game day transport, group transport of any variety, whether it's party transport or party bus, their trolley that they have, of course, which is great for around town, large transport on those luxury motor coaches. They figure out a way to meet your needs and make it happen. And then their brand ambassador for the year one, Mr. Zeke Berry, holding it down for him this year. He had a great year and taking the baton from one Mr. Will Johnson as the brand ambassador for Golden Limo. So Golden continues to get it done and make it happen. So if you have ground transportation needs, Golden Limo at goldenlimo.com is how you do it. And you can ride on Golden anywhere. You don't have to just be in Southeast Michigan to ride on Golden. Whether you're here or abroad, you can ride on Golden. All right. goldenlimo.com. Again, that is goldenlimo.com to book your ground transportation services. So, Devin, in the short time you have left, as we go ahead and stop sharing with Golden Limo, Shannon Sharpe has ascended to more fame, it seems to me, in his post-playing career than he had in his playing career. And he has, that fame has, I think, skyrocketed his popularity as a figure with the celebrities. Like he has all the celebrities on his shows, and I guess all the ladies want Shannon too. It sounds like, because I guess Shannon is a woman magnet, and so he's attracted this $50 million lawsuit. Now you would think all these years in the league he would have gotten just a little bit of game, Now you remember he had this sex tape from, was this last year, right? He had the sex tape that he put out. He said it was an accident that he played this tape.
We know that wasn't an accident because, and it's kind of like Sam not knowing that he has dunks on his feet. He's old, right? And so Shannon's old, so he doesn't quite understand the lengths you have to go through to get on live, right? It's so many different steps. Like, are you sure you want to get on live? It's loading up. You got to click so much stuff. Even I struggle to get on live on Instagram. Right. So when you're elderly like Sam and Shannon,
you're struggling to make this comparison because Shannon knew exactly what he was doing.
That's what I'm saying. There is no mistaking to go. You actually made that mistake because you're old, and he's so old he doesn't realize this isn't going to work because it takes too much to go on live. Like, it's no make a mistake and butt dial live. You can't butt dial live, especially if you're doing what he was doing. But go ahead.
Yeah, so this dude, he was catching a whole bunch of heat because people were questioning his sexuality. And so he wanted a way to try to nix that, try to nullify that, try to snuff that out. So he's going to release a sex tape without really releasing the sex tape, because you see what happened to dudes who have sex tape. I mean, Paul Pierce didn't even have a sex tape. He was just in a tape. He was just on the show. He had some strippers in the background.
What a lot of people do, I guess.
Yeah, he just had strippers in the background, and they canned him from the show. So, I mean, you definitely can't have a sex tape. So, Shannon said, well, I'm going to accidentally have a sex tape. I just don't know how this happened. It's
crazy how my phone just jumped on live. I'm
It's
telling you, this
jumped on
AI is killing us.
Right. So, I'm assuming that the woman who is suing him now and that may be the wrong assumption. Maybe that's some other woman. But the timeline would seem to fit. That
wasn't his Michelle. That ain't his Michelle.
Okay, so maybe it's some other woman.
Oh, no. This new woman is not his Michelle.
Okay, all right. Well, so this woman then is some other woman. I hope.
Well, she's an OnlyFans person, right? So everybody knows what OnlyFans is. She's an OnlyFans person. My whole issue with the whole thing, most people know what we're talking about. My whole issue is he done made too much money. He is too famous to be doing OnlyFans doing the OnlyFans thing. And you said at this point he should have developed some game. Well, when you have the kind of money he has, he really don't need game. But I'm kind of baffled by the whole thing. It's like, why are you engaging in this thing and putting yourself in this risky position to allow this woman to even do this? And then, other people are saying, well, you're 50 years old and she only 19. How are you doing it? That's kind of weird too. But, if you want to do that.
That's the weirdest part. So he meets her.
I think the weirdest part is you got all this money and you paying somebody to
come on,
OnlyFans.
Man.
That's
54
weird.
54 years old. He meets her at the gym. 54 and 19.
And he ripped too. He 54, right. He ripped,
He's 54 and she 19. All right. So that's number one.
Yeah.
This is not like he met her at some den of ill repute where the age is kind of marred by the environment. Yeah. And you got that suspension of disbelief. Yeah. Where it's like
wait, you this young? This how
you this right? Yeah, it's kind of funny. No, you're in the real world where you can look at this. This is a 19-year-old girl, man. Like, come on, man. Like, what are we doing? And then you get to talking to her. You get in the fitness challenge, and according to what's in the lawsuit and all this commentary and text or whatever,
the texts are crazy.
And you're gonna pay her for a boob job if she beat you in the fitness challenge. So you start off talking about paying her money. This is what I mean about the game. Like, you start out.
Why is that your first game?
Why is that your first thing? Talking about paying a 19-year-old girl money. I mean,
to help with her OnlyFans career.
What are we doing?
I don't know, man.
How do you think this is gonna go?
I like Shannon.
And then so you achieve your goal. You get with this young girl, and it goes where you want to go. And you decide it's supposed to go beyond that. You actually what do y'all talk about? What's the conversation? I mean, what do you go get her?
Dude,
she want to.
It's so hard to have a conversation with young people.
That's what I'm saying.
It annoys me, and because your frontal lobe, that frontal lobe don't develop till about 25, right? And so the logic of a young person is just goofy. It's just like, I'm pretty sure I was the exact same way. And Sam, you probably were very stupid as well. And it's just like, I'm too dumb to talk to you. I mean, you're too dumb for me to talk to you. That's what I think out. No offense to young people and all that. It's just those are the facts. Your frontal lobe just haven't quite, and you're young, and I don't know.
That's what I said. You go to the store, what you bring.
But if it seems like they weren't really having to. It was just kind of like nasty conversation. It wasn't really no actual conversation.
But like I said, I mean, you picking up on the conversation. She said, I know you want this, but it's gonna cost you $25,000.
It's gonna cost you $50K.
Yeah, it's gonna cost you 50 rats. Like, come on, man. I mean, you hear it, and then
25 per cheek.
25 per cheek, and then she said, I want you to put.
Oh no, still do it, Sam.
She said, I want you to put a big black baby in me. I'm like, hey, man.
Oh my goodness.
How did you think this was gonna go?
And you want to know what's the weird part? I know this is semantics, but she said the big black baby thing twice. As if it didn't go over well the first time. She's like, man, let me double down on this big black baby. Is she allowed to say that?
Hey, he didn't go nowhere. I'm like, man, the red flag. But see, it's your fault for starting it off that way.
Yeah.
For starting out, I ain't even tripping on the whole because people do what they do in the
Yeah, they
privacy of
grown.
their
He
own
grown
home
up. He can do what he want to do.
with the choke chains and all of that. That's your thing. Cool. That's fine. But when
The
she talk
inability to
about
breathe, that's on you if you don't want to
you
breathe.
talk about the $25,000, the cheek, and the big black babies and all that, dog, you getting set up.
It
And
sounds like a setup.
age bracket, and you think she 19. You think she gonna keep all of this? Are you texting everything? You
She
texting
19 and like
everything.
with the OnlyFans, she has no plan on working.
Dog, you
She
texting
like, I need to get a come up
Devin,
now.
Devin, he's a big celebrity. He texting everything to a 19-year-old. What are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing? I don't know it. Who has schooled Shannon Sharpe on the game? Where did he learn it?
I mean, it's like a slippery slope, right? You do the sex thing, there's no repercussion, the sex tape thing, and there's no real repercussions. And even though he's older, right, he's still a human. And so you think, well, shoot, I seem untouchable, right? And you know, he has the sponsorship with Rose Sparks, or you know, the sex thing, the peel chewable or whatever you take, and he like brag about like his sexual escapades and all that, right? So he probably thinking like, I'm about to get a lot of credit for this. Like, this is great, kind of. I mean, I don't know. I'm trying to make sense of it. That's what it seems like to me.
You put yourself in this position right here.
Yeah, that's tough.
Right here with all of these missteps before. I'm not even talking about that you had your sexual relationship with it. Fine, man. I mean, if you had done that,
do your thing.
if you had done that, but not all of this other stuff, you know, once she started talking about 50,000 to cheat, black babies and all of that.
But no, the 50,000 should have been fine because he led with the money thing. But the big black baby should have been the end of the relationship.
It sure should.
Come on, man. What you saying? What are you saying to me?
Yeah.
Put a big black baby in you. That's crazy.
Yeah, now you got to worry about, you know, if you are whatever you doing and she compromise, like, man, like, yeah, I'd be dog. You got a whole lot to worry about when she starts saying that. You gonna be Anthony Edwards up in this.
Oh,
I'm just
you saying. Know what's crazy to me? Anthony Edwards seemed like he moving a little smarter, even though it's ridiculous. It sounds ridiculous, but he seemed like he got things under control.
Man, I'm
playing good, beat the Lakers. It seems like he's completely unfazed. It's all good.
I'm just saying this dude, and now he's in a position where it's supposed to be a tape that's gonna get released, and it's 10 minutes long. He told us that. It's a 10-minute long tape, but they only gonna release 30 seconds, and it's gonna look bad. The 30 seconds of the tape gonna look bad, but they should release the whole tape. Do you have a tape, Shannon? You let her tape you? And clearly he
don't got the tape.
Because he don't have the tape, so he let her tape him. You let a 19-year-old OnlyFans model tape. So this is what she does.
I gotta go.
This is her profession. And you let her tape you, fool? What are you doing? I don't get it. I don't get it, Devin.
Hey, I got a question, and I gotta go. And this is for you, Sam. You ponder this, and check ponder too. Is this similar to what happened with well, we know that the sex tape wasn't a mistake, right? You got on live and whatever, but is this a Ray J? What's the Kim Kardashian thing where they're in cahoots together? Like, hey, let's do this. Nothing really gonna happen, but you're gonna become famous. I'm gonna become Ray J kind of got the short end of the stick on that one. I don't think he became more famous, but maybe it's that type of thing where it's like, because it's like that wasn't a mistake.
For her, it's great. Shannon got $100 million podcast deal on the line right now. He didn't need this. Yeah. Her, she needed to. I mean, this blows her up.
That's tough. I'm trying to make sense, and I'm gonna drive myself crazy trying to make sense. So I'm gonna let you talk about them Pistons who are back to the bad boys. Everybody's scared of them. I love it. But it's been fun. No more Shannon talk. I can't. I like Shannon, man. I like Shannon. It's my dog. I mean, I'm not gonna say he's my dog. I don't really know him personally, but you know,
don't take no advice. Don't take no advice, man. Woo. Not on the ladies anyway. Man, he dropped the boat on.
I wanted to come. They coming to Detroit. Him and Ocho to do their show live. I wanted to go, but I don't know if I'm gonna be able to go now. I just don't know.
He didn't learn the game from Ocho. Ocho, he had one of the basketball wives. It's gotta get out of there.
Man, they got a lot going on. Well,
all right, DG. I know you got to bounce.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk some Pistons with the people.
All right, love you guys, and I'm sorry that you guys had to listen to Sam give that golden limo deal, but we'll make sure we cut his signal again next time to make sure I can give it to you again.
Wow, we're gonna get people on golden limo, man. So all right, let's talk some Pistons as DG heads on out. I don't know if producer Ben wants to drop in because I know he's a Pistons guy, but listen, I don't know where these Knick fans act like they have won something in the modern era of basketball. It was like the series was over after one game. It was like they didn't watch the regular season and watch Cade Cunningham average 30 points a game against them. OG Anunoby and company beat them up one game. They're like, OG Anunoby is the modern day Dennis Rodman. He's the modern day, I don't know who is the Bruce Bowen. Like he's a defensive guy. He locked Cade up. Cade's not gonna be able to do that in this series. The Pistons are over and done with. I'm listening to Mad Dog talk about the series is over and the Pistons aren't gonna get up off the mat. It's like, wait a minute. The Pistons just went out and they were winning this game for 3.5 quarters. Yeah, they went on a 21-0 run. Made it happen. I tipped their cap, but this was about the Pistons folding under the pressure. Look how that quarter started. They had a 5-second violation, a 24-second clock violation, and turning it over left and right. This was a team that folded under the magnitude of the moment. Less about the Knicks, more about them. Cade, he comes off a pick and tries to throw it over Cat. On a pick and roll. Like, come on, man. What we doing? The things that they know better than. Not going to happen for a second game. But these dudes are convinced that the series is over. I'm watching Campaign jump around like he's the sixth man of the year. And the Knicks don't even play their bench like that. I mean, it's like, what are we talking about? So game 2 rolls around. And, you watching these guys who from the regular season, they ain't built like that. And they think because Beef Stew is gone, that the presence that the Pistons have, the mental fortitude that the Pistons have, will dissolve. But Cade had different ideas. He comes out in game 2, aggressive from the rip, whether it was sort of getting into his offense quicker. That was a part of it. Hey, we're not gonna be as methodical as we tried to be, calling these picks over. You're inviting the double team a lot more. No, let's get into it quick, get right into the offense. Let's make it happen. And so he was aggressive from jump, getting into his offense. That really took OG Anunoby out of his game. So he couldn't stop Cade from scoring. He couldn't score himself. That takes him out. And then Karl Anthony Towns. And this is, to me, part of the secret sauce. Because that's another dude who I give him, he is a terrific talent, but ain't a tough guy. Ain't a tough guy. And so I'm watching the theatrics in the game. And see, if nothing else, if you say nothing else about the Pistons, you ain't going to punk them. You ain't going to talk to them any old kind of way. You ain't going to little boy them. You might beat them. You ain't going to little boy them. And that was kind of the tone and the temperament that was emanating from the Knicks after that game. And from Cat, and I think there was they were emboldened a bit by the absence of Beef Stew. So you come back in this game, and the onus was upon Jalen Duren. So you're going to have to play outside of yourself, young fella, from the standpoint of you can't get in foul trouble. You got to have stamina. You got to be in this game. You got to be on that glass. You got to give us some points. Check, 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 and check. He did it all. He outplayed Cat in this game. While he started out strong, gave him something in the first quarter and a half. It was disappearing acts after that. And when I say disappearing acts, people think I'm talking just about points. It's not just about points. Where was he on the glass? What did he have? 6 rebounds in the game? Talking about shot attempts. He has 0 shot attempts in the fourth quarter. How does that happen for a guy? How does that happen for a guy? And everybody talking about all the shots that Jalen Brunson took. He needs to get guys more involved. There is no excuse for Karl Anthony Towns to have 0 shots in a quarter and be a guy. He's supposed to be a star. A star never has 0 shots in a quarter. It's impossible. Go get it off the rim. Impossible. And if you can't go get it off the rim, you know what happens? Karl Anthony Towns is what? He's 7'1", 270 pounds. If Karl Anthony Towns is a tough guy, he go to the bench and he said, give me the ball, I'm going to slap the out of you. Now, 2 things going to happen. People going to jump in between them, right? It's not going to be a real fight, but a message is going to be sent. And you know what else is going to happen? JB going to give him the ball. Not because he's a punk. JB is not a punk. Been covering this kid since he's, freshman, sophomore high school. Ain't no punk in JB. Right? Rick Brunson. I just watching him come up. Why am I talking about this? Like, I want the Knicks to win. I don't want the Knicks to win at all. But watching Rick get Jalen ready for where he is right now, it's like I just knew that New York wasn't going to be too big for him. That he's not going to be able to play away from Dallas. He's the Robin. Being away from Luka and all those guys. He's not going to be able to go do it on his own. He ain't going to be able to do it up there in New York. Like, man, I remember went to watch him down at Spieth one year, and Jalen was being too deferential. Give you an idea. He was passing to all his teammates. Kept passing all his teammates. And they lost the game. And I have never seen ever a parent cuss their kid out worse than I saw Rick Brunson cuss Jalen out that day. It was the most uncomfortable I've ever been in a situation like that. The only thing that compares is when I saw KD's mama get on him, and she made me wait to interview KD, and then after she was done, so now you can talk to him. But this was worse because she wasn't cussing at him. He cussed him up and down so bad that I was like, hey, man, I told Jalen, I don't even want to interview you. Another time. And then Rick was like, no. I want to see what he says in an interview after he plays, like, interview him. I'm like, man, it was an uncomfortable. But the point was, and what he was expressing to me was, my son plays in, I don't know if it's Glenbard, Illinois, someplace in the suburbs. He said, man, he's not getting heat. He's not getting smoke. He's not getting pressure like it's going to be when he get out there. I got to be 2, 3, 4, 10 times worse than anything he sees out on that court. I got to get him ready. So any smoke I give him, it's a reason for it. I'm not just being berserk, even if it seems that way. Now, I don't know. He might just be a berserk like that, but he claimed it was a metaphor to his madness, which gets me back to the original point. Knew he would be ready for it, and it takes me back to this other point. Rick that day was like, you passing all these guys. Stop doing that. Man, these dudes don't want these shots in that moment. You take these shots in that moment. Did Karl Anthony Towns look like he wanted the ball in the fourth quarter to you? Was he demanding the ball in those moments? Was he saying, give me the damn ball? He didn't demand a thing. That's why he has 0 shots in the fourth quarter. That's why Jalen was taking all the shots. And see, the difference between the Pistons and the Knicks is the decision on how you play those guys. See, when Cade 33 and 12. See, it's harder for Cade to get his 33 than it is for Jalen to get his 37. No disrespect. I'm not disrespecting Jalen's 37. I'm not saying it's easy to do what he does. Great player, but he's doing his one-on-one. Cade is going through 2 and 3 guys. That's why I thought it was so funny, them talking about OG locked him up. Man, he comes off the ball screen. They're blitzing the ball screens, and if he splits it, there's a third guy waiting on him. What are you talking about? OG locked him up. Stop it. They were all over him. So they are dedicating their defense to slowing Cade Cunningham down, bumping them, grinding them, putting a body on them, running 3 guys on them every time. They are playing Jalen Brunson straight up with one dude. They're switching, but it's one guy every time. So the difference is we playing you straight up across the board. Whereas on the Piston side of things, they say, hey, look, you're going to be reacting across the board. You're in closeout posture on all our other guys. And we got guys that we have faith in that can attack that. And I'm going to pass it. You're going to leave my dudes open? I'm going to pass it to them, and they're going to go to work. They're going to make it happen. They're going to be aggressive. And if their primary thing is not working, Karl Anthony Towns, guess what they're going to do? Something else. So you can't get your jumper going. Paul Reed blocked this 3-pointer. Yeah, I mean, it's like he disappeared from the game after that. He couldn't do nothing else. He catching the ball at the 3-point line, trying to back down from the 3-point line. Forget trying to, give me a cross screen, get me free in the post so I get a post up, so I get a deep post touch. Something. None of that. I want to be the best big man shooter in the league. That's his mindset. That's why you have fewer free throw attempts. Thibodeau after the game talking about, Jalen should get as many free throws. He should get as many calls as Cade. He did, Tom. He was 9 for 11 from the free throw line, and Cade was 10 for 12. What are we talking about? It's the rest of your guys. The rest of your guys didn't get to the free throw line. Karl Anthony Towns had 0 free throw attempts, 0 fourth quarter shots, 0 free throw attempts. What does that tell you about how aggressive he wasn't? So that's a you thing. Meanwhile, a dude who should have been 6th man of the year, in my opinion, Malik Beasley, can't throw it in the ocean. But you know what he did? Oh, I can't throw it in the ocean. Hey, I'm going to at least drive it. I'm going to at least get to the rim. He at least got to the free throw line 4 times. Going to do something else. Their shooters haven't even shot well yet. Collectively, anyway. That's going to change when they come back home. So I just the whole Knick vibe is a trip to me. Knick fans seem to me like Michigan State football fans. Like, haven't done a damn thing in my life. They haven't done a damn thing since before my mama went to college. And it's like, y'all talking like y'all actually won something of relevance, since the civil rights movement. Like, y'all been singing we shall overcome from forever and have never overcame. Like, what's going on? When is the overcome gonna come? Knick fans, y'all talking like this is about to go down. You need to show it to me. Because I'm looking up and y'all just swear one game, 1 quarter, forget a game. 1 quarter, 7 or 8 quarters, the Pistons have been the better team. And it's like, and look at the regular season too. 3 or 4 games in the regular season. This ain't new. So where is all of this bravado coming from? This y'all got it coming from? Hell, y'all was tougher last year with Hartenstein in the post. Julius Randle in the post. I mean, Dante DiVincenzo on the outside. Y'all had a grittier squad then. Y'all had more of a bench then. I feel like that squad might have been better. But this squad, man, listen, I'm not sitting here telling you the series is over. But I'm sitting here telling you ain't nobody in Detroit scared. Ain't nobody in Detroit fearful. This is the team that everybody around here wanted. The only thing that's surprising is that, man, the Pistons should have got 2. I was like, oh, man, if they get 1, it's great. Hey, they should have got 2. That's what's surprising. So, looking forward to tomorrow night's game. It's going to be a big one. I know Little Caesars Arena is going to be on fire. Got to give Tobias Harris, who's on the screen right now. Tobias Harris outplaying Karl Anthony. Karl Anthony Towns outweighs Tobias Harris by what? 20, 25 pounds? And getting worked. Out there getting worked. Now, he going to try to go in there and throw his weight around. You watch. He's hearing all the talk and all the chatter. He's going to try to do his tough guy thing. It's going to be interesting to see how that looks and how that works in action. Just, resist the urge to laugh if you're the Pistons and get drawn into the theatrics and commit any silly fouls. That's what you got to do. Because that's just not him. That's just not him. Box out, play like you've been playing, and they don't have the depth. They don't have the bench. And at the end of the day, that dude wants to play on the perimeter anyway. Like, they're talking like this rebounding disparity is just suddenly going to go away. Like Cade is he's new to rebounding. Like, how triple doubles are kind of like his thing. Double doubles are normal for him. He's always on the glass. The anomaly was just the 3 assists. So I'm watching this and waiting for the adjustment to reality for Knick fans out there. Because I didn't know. I didn't know that so many Knick fans were like channeling their inner Sparty. Because that's what I'm getting. That's what I'm getting from Sparty football fans. That's what I mean. Like, have won nothing of relevance in terms of big time championships forever. And it's like, oh, here we are. We're here. You should be nervous about us. And I'm like, based on what? Where does this come from? When have you done anything to make me fearful? 1973. I wasn't born. I wasn't born, Ben. I wasn't born. I wasn't alive. I think my mom had graduated from Michigan by then. Yeah, I think she was just out of Michigan. Yeah. Been a long time, Knickerbockers. Long time. Had that was TV? Was it Technicolor yet? Was it Technicolor, Ben? He is still in 8 tracks, weren't we? Had they even got the 8 tracks yet? 1973? Man, your championship older than the 8 track. That's pretty damn bad. You shouldn't be able to say nothing if your championship older than the 8 track. Come on, man. Anyway, I digress. Tomorrow also NFL draft, so definitely wanted to give a shout out to the Wolverines. Could have 4 first rounders. There's talk about Mason slipping out of the top 10, which I think is asinine. It's talking on the morning show about that. There's Jacksonville had been rumored for a long time to pick him at 5, but now they feel like, oh, the fans might not be enthused about picking a defensive tackle, and they might be more excited about picking Ashton Jeanty and look at what happened in the Super Bowl with Saquon Barkley and the game-changing running back. And look at what happened in the Super Bowl. What do you think, or who do you think is more comparable? What you saw from the running game in the Super Bowl with Ashton Jeanty, or what you saw from the defensive line in the Super Bowl and Mason Graham? I give Ashton Jeanty a lot of credit. I tell my man Steve Clark this on the morning show. Said, Ashton Jeanty is a tough physical runner. He has more yards after contact than Amari Hampton from North Carolina had in yards, period. So he is going to be a grinder. He is not anywhere close to the game breaker that Saquon Barkley is. You're going to get your feelings hurt. I thought my man that can't get right, what I called him, oh boy, that was down there in Jacksonville, Trent Baalke, can't get right, not there anymore. Don't be making the same mistakes can't get right made. I mean, we like that he didn't take Aiden. That was a favor to us, right? He just was like, I can't pick a Jim Harbaugh guy. We appreciate that. Trying to outthink the room and just showing that you just knew more than Jim. You just knew more football than Jim. Didn't want to take the surefire guy that had proven to you that he was a sack artist at the University of Michigan on a big stage, put up the numbers. Couldn't do it. It's like, okay, let's give him to the Lions. Let's go. But don't fall into the trap, Jacksonville. And you talk about the fans might not like it. Look at the difference in the run to the Super Bowl that defensive line made. And specifically on the interior of that defensive line, when you see the difference that an all-star, all-American defensive tackle can make, like a Jalen Carter. Now, will Mason be Jalen Carter? I don't know. He'll be Jalen Carter. He is the best interior lineman in this draft. Game-wrecking presence, game-wrecking potential. And I think he's one of the 3 best players on the board. You got a better chance of him, I think, giving you some of that kind of impact, some of that Super Bowl impact, than I think you do Ashton Jeanty. So if that's the logic we're using. Now, if you want to say, hey, I need a guy to take some pressure off of Trevor Lawrence, and I want to lean into that, I'll go for that. But if your rationale is, I'm looking to grab some of what we saw in the Super Bowl, well, you need to be grabbing Mason Graham. Will Johnson, of course, they've been talking about him sliding. Somebody had him sliding all the way down to 28. What fool did that? Now, I would love it for the Lions. Wouldn't love it for Will. I said this on the morning show as well. I highly doubt he will fall out of the top 10. But in the event that he did, I'd be shocked if he fell past 15 with the Falcons, who I know love him. So I like him at 9 to the Saints, for instance. I know that's a team that showed a lot of love. But if he got past, I just don't see any way he made it past 15. I think that's the absolute floor. But I'd be surprised if he made it past number 9. A lot of smoke with Colston and the Colts. A lot of smoke growing there. I know there have been some early smoke about him and the Chargers, but I just don't think he falls that far down into the 20s. Don't think he makes it there. And my dream, I've been mentioning it on Dropping Dimes for months. KG to the Lions. Brad, do what you got to do, brother. Do what you got to do to get KG to the. Now, here's what I know. and maybe I shouldn't be saying this publicly, but this is something I know the Lions love KG. I probably shouldn't say that. I know they love KG. Now, will KG still be on the board at 28? KG be on the board at 28? I don't know. But trade up to get him. Because you slide KG on that interior line, man, and I really, really feel like, you slide him on that line, on that. I feel like his upside on that line when you watch the development, the development that the Lions have had up front, and you apply it to KG. I see a lot of Aleem McNeil in KG. Put that back up. Put that graphic back up about Will real quick, by the way. But I see a lot of Aleem McNeil's development with KG. I watched Aleem in high school. I think I told you guys about that. I watched him play tight end, defensive end, linebacker, fullback, all in the same game. Didn't even play defensive tackle in high school. And so you knew that part of his development was going to be a little bit slower, but you saw the power, the speed, the quickness. He needs to learn the technique, how to play in those close quarters, the hand fighting inside, similar size profile, similar quickness profile with KG, except KG is further along in his defensive line development. I think KG can be a better Aleem. I think KG can be a better Aleem, is my point. You put those two dudes next to each other, man. Yeah, so they're saying Will Johnson's stock has slipped. I don't think it's slipped to 28. Yeah, who is this? Who is Shrags? Who is that? I think that's ridiculous. I think he's been, whatever he's on must be illegal, because he wouldn't be able to go to work. He wouldn't pass the drug test if it wasn't. All right, well, put it this way. It must be legal, I should say, because he wouldn't pass the drug test if it wasn't. Because that is some good stuff that he's on. I think that man's going to make it to 28, because you check the tape, and the man didn't allow a touchdown. He's played well, extremely well, hurt against some of the best young receivers in the game. You're talking about Marvin Harrison and Rome Odunze, guys who are very high picks in last year's draft. Yeah, he didn't run the 40, but his length profile, the technique that he plays with translates. I think you can feel pretty comfortable that he's at least a 4 or 5 guy. He will not make it to 28. Again, like I said, I think he doesn't get past 15. And then I saw someone ask, I want to get to this before we get out of here, about the Jamo rumors. Way more Jamo. So there are a lot of trade rumors hitting social media based on some like blog sites, insiders, so-called, saying, hey, don't be surprised if the Lions are talking trade with Jameson Williams. Now, I like to just apply logic to these scenarios and what we know about how the Lions operate. The Lions are very bullish about drafting their talent, growing their talent, retaining their talent. Very reluctant to let it go, especially the talent that shows promise. Especially the talent that shows promise that they have under their control. All of these boxes are checked with Jameson Williams. So while there have been some behavioral incidents, to be sure, are they behavioral incidents that would rule him out of the immediate future? As a matter of fact, the behavioral incidents, if anything, you would think would maybe depress his value, maybe make him return less than you would want, especially with him having only 1 year of plus production. If you were intent upon trading him, if that was a major concern, considering that you have him under 2 more years of control, he's not an unrestricted free agent until the 27th season. You got this year, and then you got a club option after that. Then why wouldn't you be bringing him back for another year and making the decision on, hey, do you want to commit your money, have him see what kind of year he has this year, and then you make the decision on the club option, or let him go, or you sign him to the club option and trade him. I mean, you get the ultimate flexibility in that way if you let him play this year. But given all of the things that we talk, all the things that we know about Brad Holmes and how he's operated in his time with the Lions and how they're super deferential to this is how we do it. We build through the draft and we grow up our guys and we stick with our guys. Why would they be ready to ship him? Even with some of the things that have happened off the field that they seemingly have worked through. On the first sign of him showing that he was a big time guy. Right? Especially when there's no reason to rush a contract right now. This is what I would tell his agent. Like, there's really no reason to, you're under contract. This is not a contract year. Like, next year, the year before the club option is really the contract year. That's really where you start talking about, hey, we're gonna renegotiate. So let's see if you do it another year. Let's see what happens at that point. And then if we decide at that point that it's not working, all right, now with 1 year left on the deal, and if we decide heading into the 26th season, we don't want to do it, maybe we talk to a team that is willing to sign you to an extension, and then we trade you to them at that point. And you got 2 years of big time production, hopefully. And now we can really fetch the kind of return that we want for you, especially if you stay off the suspension list for a full year, thus increasing your value. Nothing about what you see in these rumors makes any sense other than the clicks that the rumors garner. That's the only thing that makes sense. So I do happen to know some of Jamo's people. Was not able to call them before this episode. I will be calling them, unfortunately. We are going to try to do a post-spring game replay episode of Dropping Dimes on Sunday. We'll try to have Borges fill in for Devin, because Devin is doing Elite 11 on Sunday. So in the event that we do that, then I'll be able to maybe have some feedback from them. We'll obviously know some draft news by then as well that we'll be able to talk about. So that is that. But I'm not buying this Jamo smoke. I think it's a bunch of bunk. I think it's a bunch of garbage. If we weren't on sponsored episodes and we aren't sponsored media right now, I would tell you what I really think. But we value our sponsors around here. So Kerby Joseph. Kerb, there you go. That is outstanding. That's outstanding news that Kerby Joseph is locked back up. Ball hawking safety for the Detroit Lions showed that he is one of the best, if not the best, free safety in the game. Led the league in interceptions last year. Highest paid safety in NFL history. And remember when he was, recruited as a receiver out of high school in Florida, went up to Illinois, switched him over to DB, and they turned him into, they did a really good job of nurturing him as a defensive back. And the Lions, though, he was not fully into his maturation as a DB yet. He was not what he is now. Give their player development a ton of credit. But, this was one of those Ryan Walters guys over at Illinois. Ryan Walters, who went on to be the head coach at Purdue and now the DC at Washington. This was one of his dudes, one of his discoveries down there. That's why I say, man, whenever Ryan Walters is on a DB, I'm like that. I'm a buyer. I'm a buyer in Ryan Walters DBs. Kerby Joseph being one of them. And the Lions continued that development, and it has paid off in a big way for them and a big way for him, which gets back to the point that I made about Jamo. A dude that they drafted, a dude that they developed and turned into a guy, and he showed them over a couple of years. He had one nice year, then he had a big year, and then they signed him to a big deal. Now, he didn't have the off-field stuff that Jamo had, but I see the same kind of trajectory. You do have to pick and choose who you're going to sign to the big deals because you can't sign everyone, but I think Jamo would be one of those guys if he has another big year and he can stay off the suspension list. Is how I think it'll go down. So there you go. And Jamo. Back in people reading everything. Oh, he stopped following the Lions on Instagram. I mean, was he ever following the Lions on Instagram? Did anybody ever determine? Was he following the Lions on Instagram to stop following them on Instagram? That's one of the things I'm going to ask my man Levi Bradley, who was the one who introduced me to Jamo when Jamo was a sophomore in high school. He was like, hey, man, this going to be a guy. He ain't had any big-time offers at that point. He was just a track dude from St. Louis. No big-time offers. He's like, this going to be a dude. It's like, okay. All right, Levi, I believe you. You haven't steered me wrong yet. And now here we sit. He is indeed a big-time guy. So this is their game breaker, man. You're gonna trade the guy that takes the top off the defense. Come on, man. That is the year after he did it for you for the first time and blew the doors open for your running game and Jahmyr Gibbs. What kind of sense does that make? Are you gonna get anywhere near the kind of talent in return for him? Just who writes this stuff? And why do we believe such things so readily? That's going to do it for us today here, folks, on this edition of Steady Droppin Dimes. Enjoy the Pistons. I think they're going to take game 3 and 4. Like, these dudes don't have anything for Cade Cunningham. I told you the Pistons shooters haven't even shot well yet at the same time. I think that's coming. They need to get Arcero to be able to stay on the court. Like, that's the one guy who they need to get emotionally into the game. And what I mean emotionally into the game, even killed. Like, hey, man, okay, I understand, still young, but let's get some emotional maturity in the game. Yeah, he's a flopper. He's a flopper. He's gonna do that, but let's understand that and not give him some of the cheap ones where you're fouling them in the backcourt. Let's not foul out in 21 minutes. If you're gonna foul out, at least give me 30. I mean, that's taxing all the other dudes, sending their minutes up. At least stay on the court 30 minutes. Let's think big picture around here. So enjoy that. Enjoy the NFL draft. I think the Wolverines are going to get their 4 first-round picks. Oh, and I got to ask you, I'm in the Michigan Softball Academy for Making Strides Against Breast Cancer. So I'm going to put my Making Strides Against Breast Cancer link where we're trying to raise money to fight breast cancer. and they're trying to get me in this home run derby against Dusty May. But I got to raise a certain amount of money to be in the home run derby against Dusty May. So if you want to support breast cancer research and put me in the home run derby, then I need you to click this link and donate $1, donate $5, donate 10, whatever you can spare to get us into the derby with Dusty. Then I need you to go ahead and do that and help us fight breast cancer in the Softball Academy tomorrow. I got a lot going on in that regard. I'm going to throw that up on the screen here momentarily. And if you can jump in on that, hey, your boy will really appreciate it, as will the folks over at the American Cancer Society, as we look to help eradicate breast cancer. And certainly as a husband of a wife who is a 2-time breast cancer survivor, I will definitely appreciate that as well. So here is my page. I'm putting it on the deal right now for you, the people. And my donation page for the Softball Academy and making strides against breast cancer. And folks, that's going to do it for this edition of Steady Droppin Dimes. And again, we are going to try, no guarantees, we are going to try to get to this episode, this post-game episode of the replay for the spring game on Sunday. So the game airs at 11. So I believe it'll go from 11 until 1. So tentatively speaking, we are going to set the post game for approximately, I would say, 1:15, where we try to have the post game for the spring game replay. It'll be not Devin, because Devin has the Elite 11, so it'll be Al Borges, Daniel Horton, and I on this particular episode, if we're able to put it together, and then you guys can join us and give us your feedback, and we'll go from there. So hope to see you there this Sunday, folks. Until then, thanks for watching this edition of Steady Droppin Dimes. We'll see you Sunday and Wednesday, folks. Thanks a lot. I forgot to put it on the screen. Oh, and the whole thing didn't even show up on the so YouTube wouldn't let you put the whole thing on the YouTube one. That sucks. All right, so we had people